Hi folks, here we are with the Cubby van on a just fantastically beautiful day on Rutherford Beach on the Gulf shores of Louisiana. And in this video, we're going to give you a quick tour of the Cubby van. I'm going to go into a lot of detail later about the systems, the electrical system, the water system, the heating system, the solar system, all of that stuff, the cabinetry, everything. I'll tell you how we put it together, the mistakes we made, the things that we wouldn't do again, the things that we would do again. But in this video, we're just going to give you a real quick overview tour. And then when I create those separate videos for each of those things, I'll put a link to those in the description below. You might want to subscribe to the channel if you're interested in learning from our mistakes and some of the stuff that we've done. We've been doing this on and off since 2007. So we've learned a lot from it, learned a lot putting this van together, and you can too. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the alert button to be alerted when we put up a new video. So now, without further ado, let's jump in the van and I'll give you a quick tour. Okay, so here we are in the van. I'm just showing you right now the way we normally have the van set up. We can show you later how we set it up when we're driving. But we have our lagoon table here, pretty popular table that you see in a lot of van life. We have two different stands for it. This is our full height stand that we use when we're sitting at it, eating. We have another one over here too. Again, we'll talk about this in a separate video because there's some things to learn about this lagoon table. Also, our seats, you can see our seats are turned all the way around, and those are on CTA swivels with modified risers. We'll talk about that in a separate video as well. Back here, if we can get in here, I don't know if you can see that right there. This actually is our head or our toilet. And no, that's not duty in there. That's trash, because mainly we use it as a trash can. Usually we can camp in places like we're camping now where there's a bathroom. There's some porta-johnies over there. And normally we can find porta-johnies and things like that. We'll talk about that in another video. One thing I do want to point out, an innovation that we came up with, is this cloth right here that goes over our console. And what that cloth is for is that it's because Charlie sits up front between the seats, which you'll see soon. But Charlie sits up front between the seats with his head looking out the front window, and he drools all over my console. So Nita made this handy little cloth that hangs over it and keeps, so it's a drool rag, in other words. What else we have to show you up here? One of our favorite additions, which will be part of another video, which is this mirror that we got off of Amazon.com. Then you'll see up here we got this kind of handy netting thing where we keep our window blinds that Nita made. They go in all of the windows at night. We'll show you that one later as well, and how Nita made those. And let's see what else we have to show you up here. This is our cooler right here, our 12-volt cooler over here. It's an IceCo. We love this thing. We'll talk about that in the video that will be about all the things that we love in our van. And sorry about that. It's a little bit packed right now, but that's our IceCo cooler that we absolutely love, and I would very highly recommend. We just keep this towel on it to keep stuff off of here. Here's another lagoon table stand right here, and we have that so that when we're cooking, a lot of times, instead of cooking over in the sink over here area, we can cook over here with the door open. And it's real simple. This is the way it works right here. If you watch this, I just take that off of there, I move that over there, and now this swivels over here, and I can put my cooktop right here and stand here and cook with the door open. Speaking of cooktops, this is the cooktop that we use. Another thing that will be in a video of accessories that we highly recommend. This is a butane gas cooktop. We keep it in that drawer. It just comes out and sits either here, or it sits over here, of course, or we can take it outside and cook on a picnic table or something. This is one of my favorite things. We actually have two of these because we thought we would need two for cooking things like pasta and things that need two burners. We have never used the second one. It's still brand new. We've learned to cook with one simple burner. Over here, what we have is a 5-gallon water tank. This is our fresh water tank, and this is not our only water tank. We have a 20-gallon tank that goes over the wheel well, and that's in the back. We'll talk about that in the video on the water system. But we bought this because we found that for a few days of boondocking, 20 gallons really isn't enough for us. We drink a lot of water and we use a lot of water to wash dishes because we cook every day. So we got this, and the 25 gallons seems to do the trick. I want to show you this. We'll talk more about this in the video on the swivel seats because this is kind of an integral part. But a lot of people want to know what to do with their shoes in their van. And this ended up being our shoe storage under here. We have all of our shoes in these bins right here. There's one underneath the water tank. And in this bin is where we keep Charlie's food and his leashes and his bags, etc., etc. We'll talk about this container in another video, so just hang on, folks. Let's see. Let's go over to this area and we'll show you what's going on here. So under the bed, we have 4 drawers where we keep all of our clothing. And this is actually, I may talk about that in a separate video as well, because that's a little bit involved. It's a little bit more than what you see here. That's actually a separate dresser that I built that slides into that space. And so the bed, what happens is the bed has a plywood insert that goes up the center. You pull the dresser out, you pick up the plywood insert, and now you have the whole run of the van, because I do woodworking and I build furniture, and a lot of times I need to get plywood in here. I've also done a lot of renovation. I might need to get some drywall or something in here when I have a home, which I currently don't. Well, this is my home, but I don't have a house. At any rate, that whole center comes out, and then we have the van completely wide open for hauling things. Over here we have our cabinets. We'll talk about those again in the separate video on storage. A few things to note: our water system controls are down here. We have, to give us a little bit of extra counter space here, we have this pull-out counter right here. And interestingly enough, we can put that counter here. Let's see if we can get this in the video without knocking Nita out. Make sure you don't fall out the door there. And we can take our Lagoon table, swing it over there, and now we have a nice big work surface to work on. This is our sink here, where I made a cutting board insert for the sink. It's a deep sink. It's a full 9 inches. The sink I love and I don't love. We'll talk about that in the video on water systems. Our faucet, of course, and the reason that we have this rubber band on the faucet is to keep it closed, because there have been a few times, one time in particular, where we knocked that thing. We left the van. Okay, so not only did we lose all our water, but this happened to be in place when we did it. And what happened was we were out walking, and I looked back at the van, and I said in a very panicked, yelling voice to Nita, "Oh my God, what the hell is coming out of the van?" And there was like a waterfall coming out the side door. And the reason was because this thing was on. Water was running off here, running down there, and running out the van. So to be safe, we keep this rubber band on here. This is our handy little spice rack and storage area that Nita made out of a piece of steel and magnetic spice holders that you can get on Amazon. We can put a link to those in the description. This is our thermostat. I put it in the wrong place, but it works great. That's for our Propex HS2800 heater, which again we'll talk about in the video on heating systems. The bed, pretty self-explanatory. It's a bed. And this is Charlie's bed. So when we're in the van, not traveling, or when we are traveling, we keep Charlie's bed up here on our bed. This is another pad for Charlie that you'll see that goes between the front seats. This is what he sits on all day while we're driving. And we have some cool stuff back here that we put in. We have these individual fans, and these are USB powered. Like everything in the van, this is 12 volt. We have really almost nothing in the van that runs on 110. These are 12 volt, and they plug into, I'll take that camera a minute. They plug into these really cool lights that we have here for reading. So we each have the light and we each have the fan, and the fan is plugged into the light. I won't turn it on right now. This is our human pepper spray, home defense right there. Part of our lighting system back here. And again, we have the fan on the other side as well. Okay, now I'm going to show you some stuff in the back of the van real quickly. So this is the back of the van. Something I want to talk about here that you can see really clearly. We'll talk about this again in another video that we do on insulation. But it's this lining that I put on everything. And this is stuff that I love. It's not that complex. These are motion windows. The other windows we have are Arctic turn windows. We'll talk about those in a completely separate video on installing windows, why we chose this windows, what we like, what we don't like. So here we are in the back of the van. Again, you can see our personal fans and reading light systems. We have the ubiquitous Max Air fan up top. And I came up with this cool little system for hanging my fishing rods, because I use those almost every single day. And what those are is I just put a couple pieces of Velcro, little Velcro straps that I screwed into the ceiling there, and it just holds the fishing rods to the ceiling. And it turned out really well, and I really like it. Up here, we have our chairs. So these are our camping chairs, and then we also have our hiking poles that we keep up here. And to get our camping chairs out, you just pull it out like this. But when we're traveling, that's where we keep those. We got these cool little netting things from Amazon as well. And the cool thing about these is that they are Velcro on the back, but I didn't have to install Velcro on the van, Velcro on the van, because of this material that I put on the inside of the van. The Velcro sticks right to it. So we just put that up there. Let's talk about the bed a minute. What we see in the back here is our storage garage. Again, Nita made, just like everything in the van, this matching material that we love. And this thing rolls up. But for now, for expedience, we're just going to go like that with it. And this is our garage back here. There's a blanket there. So this is our garage. I have a charging station right here, and we got a couple things that are plugged in right now, charging, USB, and then I have another USB port right here, which is mini USB and regular USB. So at night when we're sleeping, I keep my phone plugged in right here and keep my phone under my pillow, so it's always with me. These are just storage containers that we have had since 2001, I believe. Earlier on, I said we've been doing this since 2007. We've actually been doing it since 2001. That's how long we've had these containers. These are just from Walmart or something. And so we've got a ton of storage back here because we've got 2 layers of those. This is my ladder, which I think I'll pull out when we talk about the solar system, because this is the ladder that we use to get up to the roof there. Over here is that 20-gallon water tank that I talked to you about. And we'll talk about that in the water system video, tell you all about that, where we got it from, what we like, what we don't like, how it works, etc., etc. And then I think probably finally in the back of the van, this will be in our accessory video. This is one of my favorite accessories right here. This is a shark vacuum, and this thing is killer. This is our 3rd or 4th vacuum. We couldn't find one that was strong enough. This one is killer. I'll talk about that in the accessory video. But I got to unplug that right now. That's the only thing, by the way, that we have that's 12 volt that is plugged in all the time. So I have a 12 volt 6-banger right here that we keep that plugged into, and if I need to plug anything else in there, I cut my hair this morning with my razor and I plugged that in there. But the only other thing that we really use 12 volt for is our coffee maker, and we'll talk about that later in another video. Finally, this is our electrical control system right here. We'll detail all of that in the video on electrical systems. And now let's just swing around to the front of the van again. So that's the perhaps not so quick tour of the Cubby van. If you have any questions now or in any of the other videos, go ahead and ask them in the comments section, and I will respond and give you my answer. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you like this video, we're going to go into detail about all of the systems, our awning, our mistakes. We're going to give you tips. We're going to give you how to. We're going to give you some tricks, again, that we've learned traveling and living on the road on and off since 2001. That's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. We'll see you on the road.